Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Shall we shake hands? This is a problem. Sometimes people go literally to the hadith. One of the guys went into a movie theater. Is this me? He went into a movie theater and he wasted the whole movie shaking hands with the...
The Prophet ﷺ said, the rights of a Muslim over his Muslim brother are 6. He was asked, what are they? He said, when you meet him, you should greet him. When he gives you an invitation, you should accept. When he asks you for advice, you should give him good counsel. When he sneezes and praises Allah, you should pray for mercy on him. When he is ill, you should visit him. When he dies, you should accompany him.
In the third one, when he gives you an invitation, you should what? You should accept. No, you should go to it. An invitation is you go to it. So these are the rights. And they are some of the rights, because there are more rights. And life is all about obligations and rights. So either it's your rights you want, or your obligations you have to fulfill. The relationship between a man and his wife. He has obligations that he must fulfill to his wife. And he has rights that his wife must fulfill for him. So it's give and take. Your parents have obligations upon you. You have to fulfill them. And you have rights that also you expect from them to do for you. Now, a Muslim with a Muslim, there are a number of rights. Among them, with all due respect, don't be offended, okay? I'm like your younger brother. They're laughing. Do you distribute something for them to eat? Like crackers or something like beans? I'm watching the brothers here, everybody's, I'm talking to and they have a bag and they eat. And I kept thinking maybe an isolated issue, but everybody's doing it. So I thought maybe you give them food outside or something. Why am I not getting something? Okay. No problem. Don't get me wrong. Don't be offended. I'm just noticing this. You can enjoy whatever you're eating and have fun, but just for the knowledge, my own knowledge. So there are so many rights, and these rights, the more you fulfill them, the better Muslim you are, and the more you have shortcomings, the bad Muslim you are. So there are more than these 6, but these are the most prominent of them because it ensures the coherence of the Muslim society when we manage to attain these. So number 1, when you meet him, you should greet him. Again, we've gone through this, spreading salam. You don't have to say it over and over. You, inshallah, will learn this and you will implement it. Whenever you go downstairs, in the mall, whenever you see a Muslim, you would say, Assalamu alaikum. Not expecting him to reply. I just want the reward. This is what I'm concerned of. Reviving the sunnah for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal. I want to spread the word of Islam. Assalamu alaikum. And I am interested in hasanat. Whether he responds or not, there is an angel who will respond to me who is better than him. Number 2, when he invites you, you must answer, you must accept, you must go. Now, is this general or specific? Meaning, now the brother says, tonight, my wife is cooking and you have to come and eat. I can barely walk. and he wants me to come. I don't want to go. Should I go? Must I go? Yes. No. Okay. Different opinion among scholars, alhamdulillah. As usual. The scholars say the invitation that must be answered is a shar'i invitation. Something related to religion. Otherwise, imagine me, Sheikh. I have so many people that I know, and every single meal, Sheikh, come have breakfast with us. Have lunch, have dinner. In a couple of months, I'll be like an elephant. Especially with the unhealthy food you guys have here, all fries and nasi goreng, sati. Biryani I don't eat. I don't like chicken. Chicken is for chicken. So we come back to the issue. What kind of invitation are we talking about? Scholars say two shar'i invitation. One, walima. Two, death. Yeah, you die with him or what? No. Death is bid'ah. If someone invites you for dinner because of my deceased father died 40 days ago, this is bid'ah. You're not allowed to attend. Number two, aqiqah. Aqiqah is something religious. So if he invites you to wedding, number one, aqiqah is number two, then you must attend. And if you do not attend, you are sinful. The Prophet said, who is invited to a walima and doesn't attend, he's sinful. I find it difficult myself to attend because so many people invite me, and I often ask them politely, can I be exempted? 80% would say, Sheikh, we would love to have you, but we know that you're busy, you're exempted. 20%, you wish to kill them. Wallah. No, I will never forgive you on the day of judgment. The Prophet told you to respond. Ya Sheikh, taqillah. Said, no, you have to come. And I have to go. And it's my habit, if I enter home after Isha, I never leave. This is my habit. I do not travel. I do not mix. I do not socialize. My wife goes out of the home more than I do. Seriously. I have a big American car, Suburban, the biggest engine in the world. How many days do I fill the tank with fuel? Make a guess. 3 days. 1 day, mashallah. 40 days. 40. And this shows you how much driving I do. Every 40 days, every month and 10 days, I fill the tank. And this engine consumes gas like crazy. It's not a Toyota, it's a GMC. Why? Because if I go in the house, I don't leave. I'm a person who sits on my couch with my iPad and my laptop. This is all what I do. So people insist, you must come, or I will face you on the day. A'udhu billahi min shaytan. He wants to take me to hell. You have to respond. But this is one of the advantages of being a sheikh. You have ways out. So you go in early after Isha, because in Jeddah, we start our invitation after 11 o'clock. They serve the food, if early, 1 a.m. So what I do, I go after Isha. There's no one in, even the people of the wedding are not in. I go after Isha, I drink coffee, drink tea, half an hour, I leave. I answered the invitation. Or, if I see someone smoking, this is munkar. I leave. I'm a sheikh. If I see a TV screen and there is something un-Islamic being displayed, women, a movie, I leave. So, alhamdulillah, there are ways out. of this. But Islamically, when someone invites you and you attend, what does this leave in your heart? A very beautiful feeling, because he answered my invitation. I don't know about your weddings here. When do you do their weddings? The walima. Over lunch. This is the best time. In Saudi Arabia, seriously, food for women is at 2 o'clock. Because they will not, 2 a.m. They begin to attend at 11 p.m. And the arusa, the bride, does not come out, from the stairs and with the zaffa and the drums, except at 1. And she is the one who opens the buffet at 1:30 to 2 a.m. This is ridiculous. This is un-Islamic totally. And the best is those who do it in dhuhr time, ghada, lunch. It's half an hour. My daughters, when they got married, I used to send on the card of invitation, food will be served at 9:30. 9:30, everybody says, you're crazy, no one is going to come. And I instruct them, even if one person attends, we reward him by serving the food. As I said, 9:30, even if no one comes. 9:25, they come like Hajj. Because they know. So you stay from 8 o'clock to 9:25, no one is there. Everybody's scared. Sheikh, the food will be thrown away. It's not my business. Those who come early, I do not punish them by delaying them till 11. No, I reward them. And those who are late, I could care less. I told them 9:30 is 9:30. 9:30, the food is on the ground. 10 o'clock, everybody's home. Alhamdulillah, you pray Fajr on time. Everything is done. Invitation is done. Allahumma lak alhamd wal fadlu wal minna. So, number 4, is it? What is it? Invitation you should accept. When he asks you for advice, you should give him. And this is one of the greatest aspects of brotherhood in Islam, is seeking advice. And we have gone through not betraying your brother yesterday in the hadith, that when he seeks advice, you should give him firm and sound advice. The issue of advice is greatly known in Quran as what? No, nasiha is Arabic. No, go up when on a level of the Muslim Ummah. Shura, ahsant. Shura is counseling. وَأَمْرُهُمْ شُورَى بَيْنَهُمْ. So the issue of consulting is very important. Most of our problems as individuals take place when we shoot from the hip, when we do not do our due diligence, ask. So if I'm involved or want to be involved in business, selling clothes, I do all my planning, my purchasing, my things that I have to do. But I have brothers who already have this business. Why not consult them? No, I'm too arrogant. I know everything. I lose. Those who ask a lot of questions, usually they have the best of businesses. Sometimes you feel overburdened by so many questions. Okay, what happens if I do this? What happens if... Because he's asking and preparing, he does well in the business he's going into. Or he does well when he proposes to a sister. Or she is proposed to by a brother and she asks. A lot of the marriages fail when you fail to seek advice. A sister comes, a lot of sisters come and say, I married him because they said so and so and so and so about him. All came to be a lie. a sister called me that I got married to a man and he's a Qadiani. A'udhu billah. How can you marry someone like this? She said, Wallahi, my father said he asked someone, he told him he was a good practicing Muslim, and he came to be a Qadiani. A brother marries a woman and she does not pray at all. And he's complaining, I have one girl from her. What should I do? Divorce her? I tried to convince her to pray and she doesn't pray not a single prayer. Why didn't you do your homework and asked? He said, well, I don't know. So this is extremely important. When you want to approach something, you have to seek advice. And when you are sought after for advice, you have to give firm advice. Someone asks you, how do you think, what should I respond to Brother Ahmed? He's proposing to my sister. And you know that Ahmed doesn't pray. You have two choices. Either to say it bluntly, he doesn't pray. Or if he trusts you, I say, you trust me? Ahmed is not good for her. Khalas. So that you avoid backbiting. But if he wants a solid answer, you can easily say. But to pretend and say, Inshallah, Allah will guide him. This is not to you, akhi. Allah guides him when he marries your sister. You do that. But someone else, you have to tell him the truth. Because this is a responsibility that Allah will ask you about. And number 4, when he sneezes and praises Allah, you should pray for mercy on him. Do we need to repeat? Okay, alhamdulillah. When he is ill, you should visit him. And this is one of the etiquettes Muslims don't follow nowadays. When someone is ill, do you visit? No, it's contagious. He has flu. He has cold. I will not go. Someone has an operation in the hospital. Do you go and visit him? No, the hospital timings is not suitable for me. I'm too lazy. I have to go to the gym. My wife wants me to babysit. So many excuses. This is your brother's right. He's bedridden. When will you go and visit him? You must go and visit him. You must make the effort. Not just because it is his right. No, there is so much reward in it. Do you know how much reward? The Prophet says, alayhi salatu, when someone visits his sick brother, 70,000 angels ask Allah for forgiveness until night time. And if he visits him at night, they will seek Allah's forgiveness for him until the morning. 70,000. How much reward do you think this would be? The Prophet ﷺ said, when a man visits his brother when he's sick, he is carrying, storing the fruits of Jannah until he returns. Meaning that Allah would put in your basket, in your home, fruits from Jannah for 2 hours, 3 hours until you return home from your visit. So is this something to be taken lightly? But if you don't visit him, what will happen? He will carry a grudge against you. And this happens with all of us. Assalamu alaikum Muhammad, how are you? I was sick last week. Yeah, I heard, but you didn't visit me. Now I'm in trouble. I have to be defensive. Yes, sorry, but you remember, I tried to change the subject. He's angry. And he has all the right to be angry. Why? Because the Prophet told us, alayhi salatu wasalam, there are rights between you and your brother. You failed. You deserve to get, or to be, you deserve. Yeah, it cannot formulate it. He deserves to be angry with you. He deserves to be angry of you because you failed in fulfilling his right. And number 6. Huh? 6. Come on. Number 6, he was ill. I visited him. He died. Was it something I said? Was it something I've done? No, he died. Subhanallah. Then you should accompany him. Accompany him, yani die with him or what? The meaning is that you should follow his funeral. And again, there is so much reward in following a funeral. The Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, whoever prays funeral prayer upon the deceased, Allah would give him 1 qirat, 1 carat of gold, 1 carat of good deeds, equivalent to Mount Uhud. You know Mount Uhud? Have you ever, who've seen Mount Uhud? MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Okay, good. It's not a small mount. It's not something small. It is a mountain. All of this because you prayed a salat that is made of how many rak'ahs? People saying 2 rak'ahs, 4 rak'ahs. There's no rak'ah in janazah prayer. What is this? People are still asleep. There is 4 takbir in Salat al-Janazah. You offer it in less than a minute and a half, and you get Mount Uhud of good deeds. And if you accompany the funeral to its burial position, Allah would give you 2 carats equivalent to Mount Uhud. Abdullah ibn Umar, when he heard this hadith, the narrator was Abu Hurairah. Abdullah ibn Umar said, come on, this is too much. Abu Hurairah has gone too far. So another companion came to Ibn Umar and said, the hadith is authentic. I heard it from the Prophet ﷺ. Ibn Umar started to cry. He said, La ilaha illallah, how many carats of good deeds have we wasted in my life? Now, when was the last time you prayed janazah prayer and followed it until it was buried? We have a problem. You have the janazah prayed in the normal masjids or in special masjids? Normal masjid. And the burial? Graveyard close or far? Very far? This is a problem. I remember one of my close friends, he was a da'i, a famous, very famous da'i in Jeddah. And he used to have books and literature and cassettes and very well known. All of a sudden, his wife called, my wife, and she said, my husband has flipped. What do you mean? She says, he's smoking now and he's watching television and doesn't pray in the masjid. We were shocked. I went to the brother, spoke to him. He said, listen, I know everything you want to say. And I know that. So I had no idea except to advise him. And he left to another city. Few months later, he called, he said, I'm coming to pray Jum'ah with you. I said, Alhamdulillah, still you pray. So he came, I gave khutbah Jum'ah. After Jum'ah, it was August. He said, let's go to somewhere. I said, where do you want to go? He said, I want to go to the graveyard. I said, oof, graveyard? Yalla, bismillah. The guy was completely out of line. Imagine when Sheikh Assim shaves his beard, God forbid, and starts to do what? I don't want to even think about it. يعني when someone is practicing, a da'i, a scholar, all of a sudden flips and joins the dark side. So I took him to the graveyard. And it so happened that the khutbah was very touchy. It was not halal haram, it was about the heart and how to cleanse. So he apparently was moved by it. We went into the graveyard and there was a grave open, but no one yet buried. So he took off his sandals and he walked on the boiling sand and rock between the graves out of respect. So I tried to follow him. Whoops, nope, not for me. I couldn't walk. He walked barefooted, waited on the grave, and he cried like crazy. It was so hot, I couldn't even walk on it. He was there barefooted, crying for 20 minutes. And I was soaked in sweat. But I thought this guy might have a heart attack and he will fall in the grave. Wallahi, seriously. Going to the graveyard is one of the best things to soften your heart. When you have a hard heart, just go and imagine how many ministers, how many millionaires, how many athletes, how many influential people are down under. And soon, you're walking into it, you'll be carried into it. When you go there, you remember death, you reflect upon it, all your worries, all your trouble disappear. If you try to bring a paper and a pen and list your worries and problems, my debts, my nagging wife, my abusive husband, my mother-in-law, my mother-in-law, my mother-in-law. You keep on writing these lists. Once you go into the cemetery and you recall that there will come a day that I'll die and be buried, all these worries become positive. You go out, oh, my nagging wife, at least I have a wife. Some people don't have wives. Alhamdulillah, I'm walking, I'm healthy. You appreciate Allah's favors and blessing upon you, and you begin to redirect your life into something positive. So going to a cemetery to see off a brother, a relative, a friend, or a Muslim, definitely this is part of the rights that you owe to your Muslim brother. Salah? No salah? 30 minutes, okay, inshallah. طيب, following hadith.
Hadith number 1008 to 661 and 662. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu said, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, when a man comes to an assembly, he should give the greeting. When he sits down and then thinks that he should leave before the assembly has broken up, he should give the greeting. Okay, greeting again, both times, between brackets, what? Salam. Salam, so that people know. Okay. Neither greeting? He should give the salams. Okay. Neither greeting is more deserving than the other. This is an etiquette that most of us don't do, which is, when we join an assembly, when we come to a gathering, we definitely say, Assalamu alaikum. But when leaving, we sneak out. Usually we do not announce it. The Prophet says, no, the one in is not more deserving than the one out. So when you go in, you give salam. When you go out, you give salam as well. This is part of the sunnah that the vast majority all over the Muslims would look at you and say, wa alaikum salam, what? I'm leaving. So, khalas, you said salam in the beginning. That's sufficient. No, this is the sunnah that the vast majority of Muslims do not know. When you enter and when you leave,
you should always say Assalamu alaikum. Okay.
Hadith number 1059, page 692. Al-Qara said, a man came to Abdullah and said, shall I ask permission to go in where my mother is? He said, yes, for you will not wish to see her in every condition.
So you would not wish to see her in all of her situations. Better than condition. You would, okay. Abdullah, which Abdullah is this? Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, because one of his disciples was Alqama. And usually the Abadilah. What's the meaning of Abadilah? A plural of Abdullah. There are many. So we have Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, narrator of the hadith. Who else? Abdullah ibn Umar, Abdullah ibn Abbas, Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As, Abdullah ibn Zubair. These are the 4 or 5 well-known Abadilah in the Sunnah. And sometimes a lot of the books of hadith would say, Abdullah said, the Prophet said. Which Abdullah would I know? The scholars can identify this easily. If it was Nafi' and Abdullah, immediately you know that this is Abdullah bin Umar, because Nafi' is his disciple. So there are a number of tabi'een who are strictly narrating the hadith of Abdullah, this particular or this particular or this particular Abdullah. So Alqamah said to Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, may Allah be pleased with him. A man came to Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, not Alqamah. Alqamah is narrator of the hadith. He said, shall I ask permission to go in where my mother is? And this means that we have the issue of seeking permission. In Arabic it's called isti'dhan. Idhan is permission. Isti'dhan, seeking permission. Maghfirah is forgiveness. Istighfar, seeking forgiveness. And so on. So alif, sin, ta is to ask for. So he's asking, do I have to? She's my mom. Must I seek permission? And he said, do you like to see her in all of her situations? When she's dressed, undressed, when she's asleep, when she's awake? He said, no, definitely not. Then you must seek for permission. And in the Quran, this is clearly stated in Surah An-Nur. Allah Azza wa Jal says, يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تدخلوا بيوتا غير بيوتكم حتى تستأنسوا وتسلموا على أهلها. O you who have believed, do not enter houses other than your own houses until a certain welcome and greet their inhabitants. You have to seek permission. And how did the Prophet ﷺ used to seek permission? Knock. They didn't have doorbells, did they? Islamic permission is to say salam. How many times? 3 times. Only salam? There is another word. Adkhul, ahsant. So you have to say Assalamu alaikum. Adkhul, meaning Assalamu alaikum, may I enter? And you wait. Nobody answers, repeat. Nobody answers, 3rd time. Nobody answers, leave. The authentic hadith is the Prophet ﷺ came to one of the companions' house. So he said, Assalamu alaikum a'adkhul. The companion said, Wa alaikum assalam. But he did not reply loudly. He wanted to hear the salam of the Prophet, which is dua. So the Prophet repeated it, and for the third time, and then left. And the man came out of the house. Oh, Prophet of Allah, come. He said, no, isti'adhan is 3 times. He said, yeah, but we wanted to hear your dua. So the man was thinking investment-wise. So coming back to the hadith, why Abdullah is telling him to seek permission? So that he would not see his mother in something indecent. And this is what the Prophet justified alayhi salatu wasalam. He said, إِنَّمَا جُعِلَ الْإِسْتِئْذَانِ لِلنَّظَرِ. Seeking permission was made so that you would not see something. And do you know, if someone was peeking into your home and you pop his eye out, that you have no punishment on you? So this is my house, this is my window, and the curtain is closed, but there is a small gap. And while I was sitting, a man was trying to look through the crack, through the door, through the window. The Prophet ﷺ saw a man do this in his home. And he had a stick with a very sharp edge. So the Prophet was doing this, waiting for the man not to be aware and poke his eye. And the companions said, Prophet of Allah, what are you doing? He said, this is the punishment for someone who peeks and looks into other people's houses without their permission. If you pop out his eye, there is no penalty on you. It's wasted. This is Islam. Is it a religion of violence? No. The guy is intruding on my privacy. Not that I'm living in an open glass house and people are looking. I am in my home. Everything is covered, but he's trying to look into it. It is totally prohibited. Seeking permission was made so that you would avoid looking at things that I do not want you to look at. And this is with mahrams as well as non-mahram by default. So even if she's your sister, your sibling, you cannot enter her room without seeking permission. If she's your mother, if she's your daughter, also you have to seek permission. Abdullah ibn Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, if one of his children reached the age of puberty, he would not enter his room, his chamber, his house without seeking permission. A man came, to Hudayfa, and he said to Hudayfa ibn al-Yaman, may Allah be pleased with him, should I seek permission before entering upon my mother? He said, if you do not seek permission, you will see something you do not like. Because she's not always careful. She's in her own bedroom. Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, was also asked a similar question. Should I seek permission before entering upon my sister? He said, yes. He said, Ibn Abbas, I am the one who raised her. Yani she was born and I was like 15, 20 years of age. I raised her until she became a grown-up woman. He said to him, do you like to see her nude? Is it okay for you to see her naked? The man said, no. He said, then you have to seek permission. This is something that is religious. Now, having said that, is it recommended, not recommended? You choose. Of course, it's an issue of dispute among scholars, so alhamdulillah, we know the answer. To seek permission before entering upon my wife. What do you think? No, khalas, scholars have not differed even. They don't even have an opinion. Alhamdulillah. It is not obligatory, Because as a wife, I can see her in all of her situations like she can see me in all situations. But it is recommended. Why, ya Sheikh, it's recommended? The scholars say that the wife, as the husband, can be in a way of clothes that she doesn't like the husband to see her. I know of sisters that do not like their husbands to see her in indecent clothes. Not that she doesn't have intimacy. No, even clothes of intimacy has a certain format. She wants, don't laugh. There are sisters that pay a lot of weight and value to their husbands. So I don't want, not me, don't think. She doesn't want her husband to see her with her hair untidy. She has so much respect and value that she wants her husband always to remember her in the best of form. And this is one of the women of heaven, inshallah. There are men who would like always their wives to see them in the best of form. Always. You don't believe this, but I know brothers who use body lotion. Do you believe this? Some of the brothers use on their body lotion. Ah, Sheikh, this is for women. Yes, it's for his wife. Meaning that all the time you find only good smell of him. Not perfume, body lotion. Why? He says, Sheikh, I'd like my wife to smell good, to look good. Why wouldn't I do this for my wife? This is rare among men. But there are people like this. Therefore, the companions said that it is part of the etiquette that a man seeks permission before entering upon his wife. Zainab, the wife of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. You know Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, one of the great companions. She says that whenever Abdullah came to the home, to the house, he used to clear his throat before entering. So this is the house. He wants to enter his home. He used to Why does he do this? So that she is notified that he's home. And then he comes in and enters the home. Imam Ahmad Ibn Hanbal says, whenever one of you wants to enter his house, he should clear his throat or move his slippers, make a sound, so that the wife would be notified. Why is this? This is part of the etiquette. You don't want to surprise and then see something. It is a surprise, but I was the one who's surprised, not her. This is not the right way of doing it. And this is part of the Islamic Sunnah. The Prophet says, alayhi salatu wasalam, when one of you travels and come back home, must not come back at night. Why? He said, because the woman who has untidy hair would not comb her hair, and if she has to use the blade to shave something, she could have time to do it. But if you come all of a sudden without notifying her, this is, say, Sheikh, I wanted to surprise my wife. This is a bad surprise. Seriously. Tell her I'm coming at 10 o'clock p.m. Come at 10 o'clock p.m. She is ready. She is taking good care of herself, of the house. But you tell her I'm coming in the morning and you come in the evening, the day before. She didn't iron her clothes. She didn't fix herself. She didn't clean the house. And you're giving her a surprise. This is a nightmare rather than being a surprise. Okay. 15 minutes? 10 minutes? Yeah, enough time.
Abdullah bin Busr, the companion of the Prophet ﷺ, said, when the Prophet ﷺ came to a door where he wanted to ask permission to enter, he did not face it directly. He stood either to the right or to the left of the door. If he was given permission, he went in. If not, he left.
Okay, what does this hadith teaches us? What does this hadith teach us? It teaches us that this is the door. When I ask for permission and ring the doorbell, if I do this, what will happen? If someone opens the door, I can see everything inside. This is not the etiquette. Of course, here can you see what I'm doing? Huh? So the etiquette is to do this, providing that the door is opened from that side, not from this side. Because if it's from this side, I can see more. Huh? If the door is opened this way, I can see the whole house. No, if the door is opened this way, I should be like this. So when the door is opened, I cannot see anything. And if the other way around, the door is opened this way, I cannot see anything. So the Prophet ﷺ, whenever he sought permission, he never stood in front of the door. Why? Again, to avoid looking inside. This etiquette, a lot of the Muslims don't pay attention to. You come to a guest room in the house. This is the guest room. This is the door. Or the door is here. The people sit in front of the door. So whenever he goes to bring the juice and opens the door, you can see the whole house. This is wrong. A proper way of sitting is if there's a chair with your back to the door or on the side, this is what you select. Because the middle of the room is usually preserved for the owner of the house, so that you avoid looking at something that is not Islamically permissible for you. As the Prophet said, إِنَّمَا جُعِلَ الْإِسْتِئْذَانِ لِلنَّظَرِ. Seeking permission was made merely for not looking at something you do not want to look at. طيب
Jabir radiallahu anhu said, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, when a man enters his house, he should mention Allah, the Mighty and Exalted, when he enters and when he eats. If he does this, Shaitan says to his other shaitan.
Okay, read it again. When a man
enters his house, he should mention Allah, the Mighty.
He should mention the name of Allah. He should mention the name of Allah. What is? Nobody's looking? Nobody's looking. طيب, alhamdulillah. My bag is most important. The table is the university, so they can afford it. He should mention the name of Allah. The text says he should mention Allah. Mentioning Allah Azza wa Jal is dhikr. So if you say Subhanallah, if you say Allah Kareem, this is mentioning Allah. But when you mention the name of Allah, you say Bismillah. This is the most appropriate translation. Yes, Akhi.
He should mention the name of Allah, the Mighty and Exalted, when he enters and when he eats. If he does this, Satan says to his...
The devil. Why? Satan is Iblis. He is the father of all devils, the father of all jinn. So it is not the one intended here. The devil is the one who is part of the jinn. He can have people underneath him helping him, but he's not Satan, he's not Iblis. Okay?
If he does this, the devil says to the other devils,
to his companions, other devils, give them credit. To his companions.
He says to his companions, you cannot spend the night or eat here. But when the man enters and does not mention...
But if the man
enters and he does not mention the name of Allah...
Allah's name? Yeah, okay, technicality. Yes, it's okay.
And he does not mention Allah's name when he does so, the devil says to his companions, you have your house for the night.
No, you have your house for the night, he's not going to buy it. It says, you found a place to spend the night. That's the correct translation. You found a place to spend the night.
If he does not mention Allah's name when he does so, The devil says to his companions, you have found a place to spend the night. If the man does not mention Allah when he eats, the devil says...
When the man does not mention Allah's name when he eats, okay?
If the man does not mention Allah's name when he eats, the devil says to his companions, you have your house for the night.
You found a place to spend the night.
You found your place to spend the night and your supper.
And to eat dinner or to eat supper or to whatever. Okay. Now, Imam Nawawi, he's a Shafi'i as well. See, I'm selecting the Shafi'i scholars because this is Malaysia. So Imam Nawawi says, it is highly recommended for a man whenever entering his house to mention the name of Allah and says, Bismillah, and to remember Allah's a lot, and to say salam, whether there is someone in the house or it is empty. Because Allah says in the Quran, if you enter homes or houses, give salam to yourselves, a good salam from Allah Azza wa Jal that is mubarakah tayyibah, that is blessed and good. So even there, if there's no one in the home, when you open the door, say Bismillah, say Assalamu alaikum, and to your surprise, all the jinn will say Wa alaikum assalam. You close the door and leave. Seriously, I am shocked by the amount of fear among some Muslims from jinn. Ya akhi, why do you fear jinn? Seriously. If I were in home and I hear people knocking on the door or the door being closed, I'm alone in the home. I'm not brave. But I hear this, I can easily say, close the door, open the door, I could care less. And I continue reading. Jinn cannot harm you at all. Allah says in Surah Al-Jinn, وَأَنَّهُ كَانَ رِجَالٌ مِّنَ الْإِنسِ يَعُوذُونَ بِرِجَالٍ مِّنَ الْجِنِّ فَزَادُوهُمْ رَهَقًا. In the cause of revelation, Ibn Kathir says that there were groups of humans, whenever they go into a valley at night, they are intimidated, they're afraid. So they say, O Master of the Jinn, we seek refuge in you from your soldiers and from the young ones. And this Master of Jinn says, we used to fear the humans. It so seems that the humans fear us. فَزَادُوهُمْ رَهَقًا. They will add an increase in their intimidation to the humans. You fear them, you will see them. We have a saying in Arabic, اللي يخاف من الجن يطلع له. Whenever you're afraid of a genie, it will come out to you. Because you're afraid of him. If you're not afraid, if you have full trust in Allah, if you believe that they cannot harm you, إن كيد الشيطان كان ضعيفا. His effort, his struggle, whatever he plots against you, Allah mentioned it in the Quran to be weak. But you fail to believe that? It's strange. So you open the door, you say Assalamu alaikum. Who do I intend? The angels, the jinn, whoever is there. And you say Bismillah for what? For protection. And it is recommended, as the majority of scholars and jurors say, to say Bismillah in everything. So even if I'm opening a book, Bismillah, bid'ah. True. It is bid'ah if I think that it's part of the sunnah, but it is part of seeking Allah's blessing. It's not a bid'ah. You say Bismillah in everything. Because this is in the name of, what does Bismillah mean? In the name of Allah. No, I just said Bismillah. Don't continue. This is inserting things I did not say. When I say Bismillah, what do I mean? Now I'm going to drink. Bismillah. It means in the name of Allah, I drink. I'm going to recite the Quran. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Now you can say. I mean, in the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful, I will recite. So Bismillah means I will begin whatever action I'm doing in the name of Allah. I open the door in the name of Allah. I close the door in the name of Allah. So jurors say that whenever you want to do something, whether a form of worship or none, you are recommended to use the name of Allah Azza wa Jal. Now we come to the hadith. When you say Bismillah before entering or when you close the door, the devil says to his companions, tonight you have no place to spend the night in because they have protected themselves, the household, by mentioning the name of Allah Azza wa Jal. And when they start to eat, the same thing happens. You cannot eat with them, you cannot share with them the food because they have protected themselves. They put a strong seal on their food and in their homes. We cannot penetrate this. The Prophet said alayhi salatu wasalam in a hadith, and this hadith was in the beginning, 25 years ago, to those who were practicing 25 years ago among you. The hadith was authenticated by Sheikh Al-Albani. But then later on he said that it is da'if. Sheikh bin Baz, Sheikh Ibn al-Muflih in Al-Adab al-Shar'iyya say that it is Hasan. So it's an issue of dispute whether it's authentic or not. What is it? It's a dua. The Prophet says alayhi salatu wassalam, when anyone of you enter his house, he should say, Allahumma inni as'aluka khayra al-mawlij wa khayra al-makhraj, bismillahi walajna wa bismillahi kharajna wa ala Allahi rabbina tawakkalna. This is the dua when entering the house. Oh Allah, I ask of you the best of entrance and the best of exit. In the name of Allah we enter, and in the name of Allah we exit, and on Allah we have tawakkul, we have trust and dependence on Allah. Then he should give salam to his family. So this hadith was first authenticated, then rendered as weak by Sheikh Al-Albani. Yet Bin Baz, may Allah have mercy on his soul, remained to say that it is Hasan, so it's acceptable. Whether you say it or not, this is up to you, but you must mention the name of Allah Azza wa Jal when entering, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best.